Hey guys, we live. Welcome to I'm a Data. Listen to this music real quick before I get into the zone. I don't own copyrights to this music. I just wanted to share it. You know what I mean? I'm actually looking forward, to this conversation. I wasn't able to reach my co-host today, Gina Muhammad. However, as you know, I wish her the best, and we striving to move on and keep the show on the road. So, as those that know my podcast, I am the Data. I am Nathaniel Evans. I'm the host of I'm a Data, focused on leadership, spirituality, and actually finding new steps and new directions in your life. Today, I actually want to try something new. If I have some people out there that actually want to get involved with my show today, right? I'm inclined to actually share my link. With two people that actually want to jump on to the show, I'll actually share my link across the banner. So that's what I'm gonna do right now for you guys. Right, give me 1 second as I get my link for you guys. Right. And we're gonna do something different today. So whoever's interested in coming into my show, that's what we're gonna do right now. Right after this. There we go. There you go, guys. At the end. So if anybody want to come in, you're totally welcome. So it's Nathaniel Evans. I am the Data, right? And good afternoon. Good afternoon, Maya. Baby, always good to see you. How you been? It's been a long time, right? Yeah, I ain't see you in so long. Right? So let's connect real quick. If you want to come onto the show, you are definitely welcome. All right. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not going through for some reason. Well, it's across the board. If you want to come into the show, Maya, you can. On the back, you'll see StreamYard. You actually put that in. You actually come into the show. I invite you into the show. Well, today, without further ado, my topic today is actually Don't Try. It's going to be a short segment. I'm trying something new for my audience and for my people. Concept Don't Try actually engages us in this basically spiritual or physiological dances that we actually take place in this world, even metaphysically, right? So as we go through the motions, right, we understand that we have to constantly, you know, and so we constantly seeking to, better our lives and do great things with our lives on a constant basis, right? Um, and it's tiring at times, right? Because you're always trying to put all these things into place. Actually, great to see you, Denise. How have you been? And just come onto the show. I got the link. People want to come in and have a discussion about this conversation, about this topic. Don't try. I actually like to see, other people's perspectives on this concept. It actually came to me, through some studies I've been doing, and I actually wanted to share it with others, right? So the concept of don't try is actually birth. It's like a metaphysical birth. That's a birth that actually brought that concept forth. And it's actually showing that the more that you try to accomplish something, to conquer something, to dominate in something, the least likely that it was actually going to happen for you, right? We strive to, know our partners more, right? We strive to know more about our work or the industries that we're involved in. We want to master these different things. We want to master the inner circles and the outer circles of our lives. And as we're doing this mastery dance, that's taking place in society, we're not considering how other people are actually formulating or trying to develop their own lives in the midst of us trying to master their lives, right? So the concept of don't try is to actually let things go. Like, I need to do this, it needs to happen. But the more pressure I put on it, the more resistance actually takes place, right? So how can I do what I need to do from a less resistant place, right? It's actually just fall back and enjoy the ride and allow yourself to actually start understanding, right, the dual aspects, right, of what's actually happening, right, within your world, within the society that you're dealing with, right? Why aren't you able to bring forth the change that you actually need, right? And why is it, I'm saying, such a challenge, right, in this life for you to actually develop things on a higher level? Yeah, so I forgot that Gina Muhammad, my apologies. She's in Chicago for the Savior's Day. The two starts at two is what um, ministers, high prominent ministers actually speaking in that day. So she actually wanted to be there to support, who she is and what she stands on in her life, which is a great thing. I wish her the best at that event and that she comes away with some phenomenal information and knowledge that she can actually bestow and pass on, to the rest of us, including me. I'm a young man, so I'm striving, to make myself greater in this world and to come into a different level of understanding and wisdom, and even the level of spirituality. Reading the Bible, reading the Quran, getting involved with other religious practices and concepts, even, you know, religious debates and things of that nature, right? Even religious curses that actually been placed upon me because of the way that I chose to live my life and the projections that I actually brought forth in my existence, right? And, going through all these changes to try to come to this higher plane of understanding, right? Actually does the opposite, right? So all of a sudden, right, I'm at odds with myself, right? Because there are parts of me that I don't like, and then there's parts of me that I do like, and the parts that I do like, I want to be able to dominate over the parts of me that I don't like, right? So now I'm in this constant battle, and this constant level of friction with myself, right? Because there are components or characteristics of who I am that I no longer want to be a part of me, right? So instead of allowing them to actually freely transition out on their own, so I can actually place them with other components and other wholesome, things for life. So when they try to re-enter, they can't because I already filled that spot up, right? I instead, succumb to the fact that I can't get rid of it, or it's not moving fast enough. So now I put myself in a pressure cooker, right, to get rid of certain things in my life, right, that has not been so-called magnifying me, right? And this right now makes me at odds with who I am. So the concept of don't try is not just being, you know, not involved with what you're doing, right? Definitely, Denise, spiritual being trying to master this human experience, right? Constantly trying to master an experience that we were not meant to master, right? Denise, come in, that'd be great. The link is right there. And the human experience, you gotta look at it, right? So it says human experience, right? What is, you know what I'm saying? What is the human experience, right? Please join me, Denise. I sent you the link if you want to come in. But the human experience, right, is just that, a human experience. And what does the human experience actually entails? Like, what is the true manifestation of the human experience, right? It's to be tangible. It's the human experience. The human experience is to be able to touch, see, hear, experience, to feel, to want, to desire, right? This is the human experience, right? They want, instead of saying, instead of looking at the cup and saying it just loves the cup, it has to grab the cup and make a connection with the cup to show the cup that it actually loves the cup. Even though the cup has no acknowledgement of its love, this is something that it does in order to make sense of something that it doesn't, right? In order to connect with something that is beyond its grasp, it comes up with these logical ways to actually possess it and manifest it into a way that those things in turn possess and manifest the individual, right? So, for instance, you are walking on a block, you're minding your business, and you don't know no one on the block, right? You came in this community, you have to take care of some personal business, right? So as you coming through the community, take care of some personal business, you run across this figure, right? Maybe a man and maybe a woman, and you desire that I want to know who this person is, right? I want to connect myself to this person, right? And I want to build a relationship with this individual. So let's say after 2 or 3 dates, right, you like the person so much that you have to touch the person. You got to touch their cheek, their hair, their chest, their shoulder, touch a small of their back as they go on the train, different things of that nature, right? It has to be some type of physical connection, right? Because you was like, I like this person. So because you like this person, let me grab this. Let me make sense of what it is that I like. Let me make sense of what it is that I love, right? Because without me touching it and doing all Philly, right, there's really no real indicator of love, right? If I haven't had some level of intimacy with this individual, right, whether it may be family or friends, platonic or otherwise, right? How do I express the concept that I love this person? Like, I never touched the person, never touched me. We never went out, we never did things, right? We haven't experienced some of the similar things, right? What is that basis for that concept of love that exists? So as we go through the land, this is one of the things that we do. We try to possess, right, love. Try to possess people, try to possess things, concept, philosophies, wealth, and all these other things, because the possession of these things feeds, listen, guys, it feeds the human experience, right? And the more that it feeds the human experience, as Paul talks about, And the scriptures, basically it will be the book of Chronicles, right? As Paul is actually speaking about the human experience. And he's speaking and saying about the human experience is that the human experience is so aware, right? That once it sinks its teeth into something, it is extremely hard for it to let it go, right? So now, because the human experience has actually been doing what you may say majority experiencing, right? The spiritual experience, the spiritual being is now in the backdrop. No one gets to see the spiritual being because the human experience, the human being has actually dominated the front line, has actually taken over, right? And has actually shifted what would you would say friends, families, loved ones from this individual, right? That is in direct correlation to his experience. So, for instance, if individuals that surround this individual are spiritual and they want to actually help him come out of this spiritual, this human experience, right? The human being, right, is going to actually fight against those oppositions. So it can actually continue to have its way. The wine, the dine, all the different pleasurable things that is actually seeking in the world, right? It's gonna find every single thing that it needs, right? And the more it finds, right, to its pleasure, is going to increase, right? It's never going to get to the point and say, you know what, I've had enough. I've been running amok. I've been putting all these things in perspective, right? And now, it's time for the spiritual being to actually take over and have its fun, right? So as the spiritual being is actually hiding in the backdrop, seeking to get out, peeking, through the windows, through the little cracks that actually takes place, you know what I'm saying, within a person's psyche, it gets drowned out, I'm saying, by not being able to increase itself above the human experience, above the human being that it actually exists, right? So strive and you fight and you read all these books and you get into meditation and fasting, you work out, you jog 2 miles or 5 miles, right? You eat good foods, right? You sing songs, you dance, all these different human experiences that you seek to eliminate them and deplete them by doing them and actually contributing them to the spiritual experience, to the spiritual being, right? And this becomes this tug of war, this continuous fight, as Paul speaks about, right? That because one wants to and has to dominate over the other. There is no balance, right? You're looking for a balance in the spiritual being and the human being, it cannot be equal, right? So it has to be like a 90-10 rule or 80-20 rule or something, 70-30 rule or something in that perspective. But if it's equal, an individual that is striving to move according to the spiritual experience will actually get lost throughout that process because it will keep dipping and dabbing into the human experience. Because the human experience needs certain things, right? You want to drink your favorite wine, eat your certain foods, hang out with your special friends, be there for your priceless children, right? Buy your favorite cars, get your favorite house, skydive or Mount Rushmore, all different type of things, right? Because the human experience needs to be alive, to feel alive, and to experience the experience of a life that it has no idea about other than the fact that it was able to navigate with a sense of awareness, you know what I'm saying, through all the different facets of life that we actually have here. And as it's experiencing itself, the spiritual experience, the spiritual being is actually moving further and further and further into the background, to the point where this person was once known maybe as a spiritual being or the like. Now this individual is known for cars or houses or women or other different type of tangible possessions that take place or characteristics that actually develop, you know what I'm saying, within a person, within the world, right? There's really like no, right, equal friendship between these two elements. So the concept of don't try is that concept, right? Can't try to be and become a spiritual being. Can't do it. You have to become, right, who you are, right? And it has to be in a very natural, right, and non-frictional way. Right? Cannot be any friction between the human experience and the spiritual experience, right? Because now, once competition takes place, right, then it becomes an acknowledgement of that opposition. So you're moving in this space, right? And the greatest adversary is actually you, right? A component that's actually attached to you, right? So it's the experience of actually letting go, right? It's kind of like, you know, the semblance of Siamese twins that was actually conjoined Siamese twins, right? Eventually, those two, because they want to move in opposite directions, because we were born to move in opposite directions, right? And to find our own direction, to find our own path is what we were born to actually do, right? So because these conjoined Siamese twins actually are born according to their nature, they're gonna actually try to find their own direction, but they're gonna realize quickly that they cannot. So what's gonna happen is that these two are gonna have to submit to one another and make contact, right? These are the things that these individuals, right, will need to do in order to be able to function, right, in the land. If they don't do this, then they're not going to be able to function at the highest level that they possibly can, you know, with that development. So it's the same thing when we're looking at our spiritual and our human experience, is actually knowing that there is, for a war to take place, it's for you to take place inside the war. That's the best way I can say it. If you're fighting with yourself and you're fighting with all these things, right, and you're making um awareness, conscious decisions on how to fight certain things, right, be aware that some of the things that you choose may also be a part of that human experience. And you want to not even give it that much power. So it's a settled thing of don't try, right? I'm not going to try to meditate. I'm just going to go meditate. I'm not going to try to drink more water. I'm going to just drink more water, right? I'm not going to go try to jog or try to do this or try to do that, right? No, I'm not going to try to make my life perfect or build the perfect house or build. I'm not going to try these different things. I'm going to do my best to strive to do these things and put myself in a space where I can actually just do these things instead of trying to do these things, right? I'm in a competition as I try to do these things, right, with myself, right? I don't need to be in competition with myself because I'm pretty sure I can find other levels of competition that's outside of myself on a high, grandiose level. So I don't really need to submit myself, right, basically, to compete with myself on a daily basis. What I should eat, what I should drink, where I should go, who I should talk to, this and this, this and this, this and that, right? And keep myself in this perpetual merry-go-round, right, of unrest. So, end of the day, you ask somebody, why do you want to become rich, right? Oh, I'm seeking financial freedom. I'm looking to live a peaceful and free life, right? And, money will actually provide all these things to me. Okay, this is great. So it all goes back to the drawing board, right? We all want to be at peace. The spiritual being want to be at peace. The human being, human experience also wants to be at peace. How do you find peace in the midst of something that's created to bring forth war, conflict, and opposition? Ask yourself that question. We're moving in two opposite directions. My spiritual being and my human being. It's a constant or odds with each other. It's constantly seeking different paths and different experiences. So when men are actually able to, as well as women, are able to break through the monotony of basically changing their lives to be more on a spiritual level, then many people are start acknowledging them and drawing themselves to them and connecting with them. And a lot of time, these spiritual beings are actually drawn into things, or their energy is pulled into things or pulled from them to address certain matters that the human experience is not able to do, but acknowledges that has to get done, right? Like doing advocacy for homelessness or advocacy because children are being, experiencing lead poison because the landlords are not doing what they're supposed to be doing for people's lives, right? So this actually becomes a conjoint effort where spiritual beings and human beings actually come together to actually change something that actually will benefit both aspects, I'm saying, of the experience. So don't try, it's you being you, naturally finding that natural rhythm that's going to allow you to just do the things that you need to do and lock yourself into the purposes of what you need to do for you, and loving the processes that actually will allow you to chip at the chipping block of all the different human experiences that actually been getting in the way of your spiritual experiences and your spiritual being from developing to the magnitude where you say and will actually be able to bring you some semblance of peace, of understanding, of wisdom, of comfort, of a surety, right? Of the transitions of life and what this life actually entails for us and how we seek to bring this life forward. So with that, I was looking to bring, one or two surprise guests on and just talk about some few things, but my time is over. I'm doing a half an hour show today. And I wish everyone well. Anyone who want to reach out to me, you drop comments, or they want to, address a certain topic. They want to be a part of a certain topic. They want me to help them with certain research on a certain topic. Let me know. They want to collaborate on a certain topic or certain guests or platforms. I'm actually here for those things. I actually look forward to that. I actually reach out to people myself for collaboration purposes. I'm open to collaboration purposes. Let's see if we can make some things happen for ourselves in 2023. A new time, a new year. We're coming out of COVID. We're striving to rebuild our financial institutions in the world and, be more connected with who we are and those that we love and the things that we bring into the world and what's important to us. So with that, that's my time. I wish everyone well. It's been a great experience to actually be doing this podcast. Please subscribe to my channel. I am the Data, 22 on YouTube. I'm also on Google, Spotify, Amazon. Peace and blessings to everyone. Be well.